just kind of how I work. And so I feel like I'm going to come at this from a different angle than the other presentations that we had today. I'm really focusing on information literacy skills with these students, and that's kind of been a way that we have really outreached to our students. We have done kind of a two-prong approach. We have gone through orientation and made sure that the students understand that we're a service that they can use. So that's one way that we focus on them. And then the second way is we've actually developed some information literacy stuff, handouts, and a whole lesson plan to sort of help the students understand the value of the library and also the value of the skills that they're learning. We have a first-year experience. Those are our peer mentors for this year. And our first-year experience program was something that I came into the university and it was already in place. It's been in place for years. It keeps changing. It keeps having new people in charge of it. The focus changes. The trajectory changes. So we've been really trying to work with that. You know, a lot of stuff that we hear with our students, we have students who come in from CPS and the surrounding areas. They don't really understand what information literacy is. They don't understand what their library can do for them. These are all very common things that we see no matter what. And our institution is very different. I feel like it's kind of a mixture of Northwestern and COD. We have students that come to our institution because they can't go anywhere else. So we're sort of that starter point for them. And then they go on to Northwestern, they go on to Loyola, they go on to DePaul. Then we have students that are coming from the city colleges and they come to our institution to finish their degree. We have students that come just in the summer because it's a cheap 3-credit course. So we're trying to figure out, let's be honest, we're trying to figure out how to reach the bulk of our students. So our first year experience is a really great way for our students to be reached. We do have the FYE program, and our FYE program is for all incoming students that come in with 30 credit hours or less. It's required. So they don't have a choice. They have to go through the program, which I'm good with. It's an interesting program for our students. So they come into orientation, that's required orientation, and then either in the fall or the spring, although the bulk of our classes are in the fall, they have to take an FYE class. Our FYE classes are similar to, I think at Loyola was doing a University 101 course at one point, similar to University 101 type course, except they're themed. So I think my favorite one is the B-Law 109 class, Professionalism, Ethics, Law, and Chicago Scandals. So they're all themed on a subject, and then they're all Chicago themed as well, which makes for really fun instruction sessions because our topics for searching are always super fun. The challenge that I've heard from many professors, I work closely with all of the professors that teach FYE classes, is that their students get really lost in the meaning of the class. They're not quite sure, are they supposed to be learning about business law in Chicago, or are they supposed to be learning about college success strategies? And so sometimes it seems like the college success strategies are the things that fall to the wayside, and they focus more on the subject that goes within the course. And what has been a really big challenge for us as librarians is that we have faculty who really want our students to understand how to do research and have information literacy skills for a specific subject, but these students are not in the course for the subject. They're in the course because it's fun, it's a topic that they're interested in, or it fits into their schedule. Most of these B-Law students aren't going to go on to business. They're going to go on to education. So we have to really try to focus on meeting all of these students' needs, getting them to understand how the library fits their success in college, and hopefully bring them back. So, sorry. Okay, so again, those are our orientation leaders. So we kind of have currently three different things that we're doing with these students. We do see our students in New Student Orientation, which is a summer program. I'd say the biggest challenge with the orientation that we currently have is that the orientation is a one-day session. It's 9 hours, and they're packed to the gills with everything. By the time they leave, they get their ID, they're signed up for their classes, they have their financial aid set. They have seen every department, every service, parking set up. They get 5 hours of PowerPoint presentations. And they've been lugged around the campus at least once or twice, sometimes in 100-degree weather. So they're exhausted. So what we've done, and I I can say that again, that I walked into the university with this program already in place. But what we've done is we've actually gotten the library to be a stop on the tour. And I know that sounds like a really simple thing, but for some reason that took a really long time. So the libraries actually stop on their campus tour. They come in for 5 minutes. Usually they see me. I'm standing right there in the front. They all have my bookmark in their orientation packet, so hopefully they've seen my face here. They've seen my face another time. And then I show them a quick video from these videos that we created, these like short information literacy videos. And the video I show them as who's a librarian and what do they do. So again, they get a reiteration of this is what a librarian does. It's usually, like I said, 100 degrees outside, so they're just happy to come inside and get cooled off. And then I send them on their way. With orientation, we really have struggled with the concept of sort of requiring our students to participate a lot. So it's been really hard for us to push the library in orientation, and this right now is kind of where we've gotten. Another really great part of orientation is all of those peer leaders are orientation leaders. So I get to actually meet with them for at least an hour during their training and get to tell them what I want them to tell the students about the library. And again, that's second. So they've got a librarian's face, and then they have their orientation leaders telling them really great things about the library. And the students will come to me. I feel like, Chris, I'm also baffled by this sometimes. They'll come to me with my bookmark and say, I met you this summer, help me. And this is like their pass. And that's great. That's great. I don't know why this works, but I think having a face, seeing me in orientation, they know where to go. I've had students come to ask me for questions on using the library, how to find places on campus. I had one student ask me to help him sign up for classes. So it's nice for them to know that that service is there. So then the second thing that we do with them is that the FYE classes are, so here's our, I don't know if you guys want to look at it, the Your College Experience book. It's actually a book put out by Bedford, but it's custom made for Northeastern. And Chapter 8 is all about information literacy, and this really is the college success strategies side of the class. So they focus on time management, they focus on note-taking, they focus on using the different services on campus that's really useful to them. And learning how to read is something that they need to learn as well. And then the library is the 8th chapter. So it hasn't been hard for me to pitch to the program coordinator that the library needs to be a more integrated part into this program. So we do have the option, just like Chris stated, to do like a 50-minute session. And I'm really pushing that every single FYE class within the first 3 or so weeks of class comes to the library for a session. And the things that have kind of been different from the last few years that we've done this is we're really pushing that the FYE librarian does this session so that the students again have that ambassador, that person they've already seen 1 or 2 times, they see them again, and they get sort of that face to at least their first year, they know who their service point is. We're also really fortunate that within the library that the 4th floor is the tutoring center of the library. So they've come in for tutoring sessions of the library already, and then they come in to see me for an information literacy session. Right now we're at about 75% of our classes have been coming in for the last couple of years, which I think is decent, but I'd like to get that up to 90%. But this is all totally up to the instructor. So the program coordinator pushes this. I am blasting them with emails at the beginning of the semester, reminding them, and then the majority of them are coming in. We do have some of the sessions by subject librarians, but we're all teaching the same course, or we're doing the same lesson plan. So one of the handouts that I gave you is our instruction lesson plan for all of our FYE students. One of the things that we have found is that we don't always have any sort of research component in the FYE classes, so it's really hard for me to teach them core research skills because they're not going to use them in the first year. So we had created a really great video about the difference between the library databases in Google. So we incorporated this into the lesson plan, and the lesson plan has been adapted actually from one of the recipes in the library instruction cookbook, but essentially they're doing a Google versus the library databases activity, and it covers having a conversation about how we find different types of resources, We talk a lot about the types of resources even on campus that can help us. And then we watch the video, we talk about the craft test, they do an activity. I really like for them to work in groups for this, and then also report back on their findings actually on a Google spreadsheet, because I can send that to their professors and have them see the activities working as well. And that helps with my buy-in with my faculty. They get that spreadsheet and they go, oh my gosh, they're actually participating, and then they want them to come back again. And then they do a presentation to the class. The whole time that this is happening, an FYE peer mentor is present in the class, and they're helping to facilitate this as well. So they're walking around the classroom, they're engaging with the students, they're sort of reminding them how great the library is. So that's been really helpful for us as well. So we'll see them in orientation. I feel like the bulk of how we really impact them is through the instruction session. And then the third thing that we're doing is we created last year a plagiarism activity. So the tutoring center, we partnered with the tutoring center who oversees all of the FYE peer mentors. And the peer mentors have been our cheerleaders. We constantly hear students saying, my peer mentor told me to come see you. My peer mentor reminded me you were here. So we partnered with them, and I get to meet with the peer mentors, and we go over the plagiarism activity that we created. The one thing that we hear a lot from faculty is that their students are accidentally plagiarizing, which I'm sure we all hear all the time. And so we created this activity, and it's within the Tutoring Center's created learning modules for the students' success. And the activity that we created is facilitated by the peer mentor. And we felt like this was really, really key in helping the students. Again, they're doing the marketing for us. They're telling the students that the library is really great. Their peers, the students listen to their peers way better, like Chris said, than they do to us or than they do to their faculty. So the peer mentor is actually putting out this activity with the students. So we have a lesson plan for the peer mentor. We have the activity, but we decided that we take it easy on our peer mentors and have a guide on how to grade this so that they didn't have to grade it. I will say I sat down with the peer mentors. They're a really smart bunch of students, and usually our peer mentors, I see them, they'll stay. They'll start sophomore, junior year, and they'll stay through their time. So I've seen a lot of them for a few years, but even they were a little like, I was like, okay, so do the activity. Now, tell me the right answers. And they were all like, head down. I'm not really sure. So we did give them a key on how to help with this. And you can see in the packet that I gave you, it is, we took the plagiarism page from their book and used that as the item that's getting plagiarized. So we're kind of reinforcing that. The handout, Are You Plagiarizing handout, should be a double-sided handout, but we're hoping that students, when they come to do the activity, they walk away with a sheet that they can take with them again, and we do see students sort of referencing the Are You Plagiarizing. It is not branded by the library, and we sort of felt like because the students are seeing the tutoring center as well, we wanted to make sure it was something that just sort of it's about plagiarism. It's not about the library, it's not about the tutoring center, it's about them understanding what plagiarism is. So we have that. I should be meeting with the tutors again in about a month, and I'm meeting with the tutoring center coordinator, so I'll get to see how many students have participated in this. The way that this activity works is the faculty members encourage their students to go and do the learning modules to get more support to be ready for their second year of college. And then the students go to their peer mentor and the activity is done, and then they take the results back to their faculty members. So again, I'll see the numbers in a few months hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so in the future, some of the things that I would really like to do, I would like to do a flipped classroom. We were lucky enough to be part of the AIA grant. And so we did use the videos one of the videos that I'm using for this activity has been used in a flipped classroom model, and we found that it was really useful. So in order to really maximize those 50-minute sessions, I would love to have the students maybe do a D2L conversation about how they find research and how they research. I would love to have them watch that video and come in prepared to have a conversation and then jump right into the activity I think that that would be really useful for the students. It would also get us onto D2L into every single class, which that is another goal I have. I would like to be in every single FYE D2L, and D2L is just our Blackboard, our learning management system. I'm going to be attending the FYE faculty orientation. I feel like this is something that I shouldn't be so happy about, but I am, because we should have been there. We should have been there years ago. But what the goal for that is to get them to understand a little bit more what I do, get them to understand a little bit more how we can really be part of the college success. I should backtrack and say, we have an outreach committee who goes to a lot of the sort of campus fair type activities. As the FYE librarian, I've been focused more on the information literacy side of marketing the library and how do we really become this core piece of student success. And so I've been working with, I'm on the steering committee for information literacy, so I've been working with those folks as well to sort of make the students, or help the students understand that, again, we are a service for college success. And a lot of times I'll tell our FYE students, you go to see your tutor for help, and then you come to see the librarian for research, and then we send you back to the tutor, so you stay within the building. I also would like to, in going to the orientations, I'm hoping to help have a conversation with our faculty to maybe help them actually develop an information literacy focused activity for all of our FYE students. You see the gamut of many different things going on with FYE. We have a FYE faculty who's gone rogue, and she has her own library. She has her own sort of library survey or library scavenger hunt that she put together. And when we look at the scavenger hunt, we go, oh dear, we don't own that journal anymore, or we don't have that service anymore. So I'd like to really get a chance to, just like we've done sort of a single instruction lesson plan for all of our FYE students, regardless of the subject, I would like to have the students in the classroom also have some sort of exact same assignment. And I'm sure you all know where I'm going with that, which is if they're all getting the same lesson plan and they're all getting the same assignment, I can start to actually aggressively assess them to see what learning outcomes we're getting and what's working and what's not working. So I'm hoping that starting next year we'll start with the instruction lesson plan and really start doing some really key core assessment with them. I'd like to just do a survey that maybe we can put together to decide where they're coming from, where they're at information literacy skills wise, and then when they leave again, what have they built. A challenge at NEIU right now, being a state institution, is that we don't have a lot of money. So some of the really great assessment tools that we could use they cost a little bit of money. So I'm going to have to see if we can get creative about doing some of our own assessment. But that is my biggest goal, is I would like to see that, because of the conversations at our institution, as I'm sure other institutions are, about retention. And so outreaching to our students, getting them in the door, getting them to be successful with their information literacy skills are going to make them better in the classroom, are going to make them more successful. And then the other thing is currently we are a commuter school, so our students are using the library as a study space. So if they're already there, we need to get them using the services. But we are building a dorm on campus and are transitioning to not being a commuter school. So then we'll have to work on making sure that that population of students also understands the success from using the library.
It's a nightmare.
Great.
We've got.
Thank you.
In a good way.
That sounds great.
How many classes are there that you are, it sounds like you are personally talking to all of these classes?
So we roughly usually have about 1,000 incoming students. We are a campus of 10 to 12,000 students depending on the year. And then the classes, I believe we had well over 30. And I will sort of say, NEIU has always had a huge instruction. We usually see 300 to 400 single shot instruction sessions every year. We currently have about 10 or 11 librarians. And so, yeah, I'd say that a couple other librarians have taught some of those sessions as well. But yeah, I think there's about 30 some FYE classes, and the majority of them happen in the fall. So you just do 2 solid weeks of library instruction for them.
I have a question about this.
Yeah.
This book, for those of you who are online, it's a almost textbook-like introduction to the campus and campus life,
Mhm.
and customized for your school. Does the university do this then?
Mhm.
And do the students get charged for it? Do you get charged for being included? How does that, no?
Okay, so this is partnered with the publisher. It's created for our campus, and I bought that copy actually
Okay.
and stuck it in the library reserve. It's about $20. It does change a little bit every year, but not really that much, and the library does not get charged for being a part of it. We're
Okay.
considered one of the success components to this for our students, so we're in there. But I have to say that the bulk of the students say they don't read it.
Okay.
So that's why
So it's a great idea.
it's a great idea, but that's why in our plagiarism activity we actually took a page from the book, because the students aren't reading it. They need to know there's stuff in here. This is actually really great. They just need to be able to use it. And again, that goes back to the confusion with our FYE classes. The students don't know, and the faculty are having a hard time deciding, do I teach this subject or do I teach success strategies? And the success strategies seem to be the ones, unfortunately, that are falling to the wayside. I do a little rock climbing, though.
What do the peer mentors teach? Do they teach, and are they a participant in that class? Could they do the student success? I mean, that's kind of the DePaul model.
Yeah,
but-
the peer mentors are, I mean, part of the time management part is they have to go see their peer mentor. They have to take notes and have the notes checked by their peer mentor. And that's why they're the ones that are implementing our plagiarism activity.
Okay.
So yes, the peer mentors are really great components, but again, it comes down to
Faculty
the
has to use them.
faculty. They have to use them. They have to be the ones to use them.
Yeah, we always circle back to the faculty being
Oh, sure.
the
Mhm.
like linchpin.
And I have faculty that think we're amazing, that think we're wonderful, have a hard time, like Chris said, giving up 50 minutes of their time. So again,
We've got 8-week courses, that's part of what we deal with too.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is some faculty members actually use that time, so they don't show up for the class and they have a
Mhm.
librarian actually in front of the class, so.
which I
Yeah, we
love.
have that too.
I love doing instruction sessions without the faculty there, just me and the peer mentor. Because we could do the joke of like, oh, we're all, going to get 3 weeks in advance, start writing our paper, ha ha ha. And the students feel a little more comfortable.
Can I ask for a little more definition of the peer mentors? Because our writing center, that's their
Mhm.
model. They use the peer-to-peer, and we just partnered up with them. But this sounds to me like it's run from a central entity on campus, not the library, not a specific department, or?
So our peer mentors are overseen by the tutoring center. Catherine Gleiss is the director of the tutoring center, and she's pretty selective. Our tutoring center is one of the, it's just really great. I don't know that I've seen a lot of tutoring centers that are this great. There's a tutor for every single subject at the tutoring center, and then they're focused on different classes, and these are really established, really successful students, and they get paid. And I think that is kind of important. And our peer mentors are the same. They are paid. I don't understand how the pay model quite works for them. They're really successful students. They either self-identified as really successful, or they've been sort of called out by someone on campus. And these are also the students that you see everywhere. They're in all the clubs. They're at all the events. You see I'd say 2 of our peer mentors currently work at the library for us as shelvers and pages. So we have they all come out of the tutoring center, but then they're partnered. There's all these little partnerships that are going on. So they're partnered with FYE program. So the FYE coordinator oversees them
Okay, that's what.
to work with each class and assigns them to each class, but then they sit on the 4th floor of the library, and they have like office hours on the 4th floor of the library. I get to work with them at least 3 times in the year to get them successful using library resources, so that then when a student comes to them, they can either assess, can I help them, or should I send them to Molly? And so they are ended up kind of in this triangle of library, FYE, tutoring. I don't employ them though. I just get to work with
Because
them.
our LARC, you're defining our LARC. They're moving into our building. So we're going to have a tutor that runs in the library in one space.
It's actually really great.
everybody's fighting for the space.
Of course.
We're losing it, so.
But in the end, it's really great because
For
the
the
students,
students.
yeah, for the students, it's all in one place, and it makes them more successful.